Hey everybody, if you want to get into GraphQL pen testing or want to learn about GraphQL basics, then this challenge will definitely prove to be worth considering. So let's just go through the challenge description first. But before that, let's just see what GraphQL is if you are completely new to this. So GraphQL is a query language for APIs. So just remember that it is not an API, but this is how you interact with an API. So with that, let's just move on to the description. It says that our new 110% legit cryptocurrency is so cool. It does not even use blockchains. We have a WIP web interface for trading though. Hope nobody can get a beta testing account. So here our main objective will be to get a beta testing account. So with that, what do you typically do when you have a login interface? You'll try SQL, NoSQL, or XPath injection and such. So I'll just try with common credentials also. So it says that wrong password. Cool. So there is an admin account. That's good. But we do not know. So what's the next thing we can do? We can look for the HTML source code. And here you'll see that there are no comments as such and no hidden fields as well. So what's the next thing? Look for JS files. So here is a JS file. And straight away you'll see that it is sending a request to a /GraphQL endpoint. Now you'll find this common across all the applications or most of them which I've gone through, that whenever there is a GraphQL involved, you'll always find /GraphQL or /GraphQLi or GraphQL.php or anything as such, but this GraphQL is going to be there. You might see some exceptions, but I've seen in across all the applications that I've tested or played CTF challenges in. So with that, let's just see what the next thing is. It's sending a post request to the /GraphQL endpoint, and there it's taking my username and password, and it is sending a GraphQL mutation operation along with my username and password. If everything goes well and good. If it doesn't, it'll throw me an error, and as we did see, it did give me an error, an alert. But if it does not give me an error, it'll send me to /panel. So let's just see if there is an authorization issue. Again, it says not authorized, go back, and it just throws me some stack trace. I will not be going into stack traces now. So what I'm trying to do is, let's just turn on my intercept, and let's just send admin. Again, send login, and I'll send it to repeater. Okay. So there are two types of operations. The first is mutation, the second is query. Now when it comes to query is similar to a GET request for an API, but for mutation it means that your mutation means that you are trying to change certain values or change something in the or just trying to log in or trying to change something in the database or trying to interact with the APIs. So here it is a mutation operation. There is something called an introspection query in GraphQL. So what this query will do is it'll save you a lot of time, and so in this way you do not have to brute force anything here. So what an introspection query gives you, it gives you an entire schema of the GraphQL endpoints or query and mutation endpoints. So what do I mean with that? So let me just show it to you. So let's just go introspection query, and I do have yes, we have blog which gives me an introspection query. You'll find it in most of the websites that how do you get an introspection query. So this is a introspection query. So what I'll typically do is I'll just replace the query part with my introspection query, which is this, and just hit send. Now you'll see here that what has happened here is it has given me all the endpoints or it's called resolvers here, or all the operations that this GraphQL endpoint supports. So let's just see if there is a registration, and as you can see there is a registration operation in here, which is register beta account. Now what are the arguments that it supports? The first argument it supports is a username, and the second argument it supports is a password. So that's well and good. Let's just go to my history, and let's just take any request which is going to be a mutation request. Let again send it to repeater. Now we know that there is something going to be a register beta account which expects a username and a password. and it is again going to be a mutation operation. And why is it going to be a mutation operation? Because we are trying to send something to a database which will cause certain changes. So if I'm not changing anything, which means it's a query, so I'll be replacing here it with query. But since I am not trying to get something out of the database, on the flip side, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add something to the database. So here it will be called mutation. So let's just copy register beta user and just try to see what I'm trying to do here. So this username and password, these are just variables. Now this is telling that username is going to be string and the password is also going to be a string, and query login is an operation that was being performed. Now I'll replace login with register beta user, and here register beta user accepts two arguments. The first is username, the second is password, which we saw here. The first is username, the second is password, and variables are going to be username and password, and I'll be replacing them with temp12345 and password also temp12345. Cool. Now let's just see what happens. And as you can see, something happened. We have registered our user. So let's just see. Let's just go here, temp12345, temp12345, and let's just log in. And you'll see here that we get our flag. So thank you guys. This is it for the video.